Moana 2 takes place 3 years after the first adventure. Now a young leader of Motunui, Moana still feels her mission isn't over. During a spiritual ceremony, she has a powerful vision. An ancestral navigator named Tautai Veza reveals that a legendary island, Motufitu, was sunk by Nalo, the ancient god of storms. This island was the heart of the navigator's routes and culture, and without it, the connection between islands is fading. Determined to restore that bond, Moana assembles a new crew from her village. Lodo, a brave craftswoman, Kale, a stubborn older farmer, Moni, a young girl obsessed with Maui, and of course the lovable duo Haihei and Pua. Together, they sail into uncharted waters searching for clues about Motufitu. Soon, they reunite with Maui, who's in trouble. His powers are weakening, and he's being hunted by Matangi, a mysterious creature sent by Nalo. Maui fears that restoring Motufitu could unleash something even worse, but he still joins the mission. Their journey is filled with wild seas, sea monsters, forgotten tribes like the Kakamora, and ancient navigators' riddles. At one point, they discover a giant shell hiding a cave where Maui was once imprisoned. Surprisingly, Matangi, though a servant of Nalo, reveals he wants the storm god gone too and helps Moana. The mission reaches its peak when Moana finds where Motufitu lies submerged. To bring it back, she must perform a symbolic act, touch the island's heart. But Nalo strikes with lightning fury, strips Maui of his powers, and hits Moana fatally. She sinks beneath the waves, seemingly lifeless. Then comes the most emotional moment. Moana's ancestors, including Grandma Tala, appear spiritually and bring her back to life, now marked with a new star-shaped tattoo. She rises transformed, deeply bonded with the ocean and her true purpose. With renewed strength, Moana inspires her team. Together, they defeat Nalo and raise Motufitu from the depths, restoring balance between the ocean and its people. The film ends with a joyful celebration in Motunui, now reconnected with the world. But, in the post-credits scene, a weakened Nalo prepares for revenge, when none other than Tamatoa, the shiny crab from the first film, shows up, hinting at a brand new threat on the horizon. What stood out to me the most was witnessing Moana's growth. She's no longer just the girl with a paddle and a calling. She's now someone who carries the weight of leadership, real responsibility, and the consequences of hard choices. And the film reflects that evolution with maturity, all while preserving the wonder that made us fall in love with her story in the first place. Her development is present in every aspect of the film, and Disney deserves credit for how skillfully they portrayed it, not only through the storyline but especially through the visual design. With just a glance you can tell, Moana is older, more grounded, shaped by time and the decisions she's had to make. That kind of nuanced character evolution is rare in animation. This isn't a surface-level transformation. They didn't just give her a new hairstyle or a few signs of aging. Her growth is visible in how she moves, how she looks at the world, how she carries herself. It's in her posture, her gaze, her silence. You don't need the film to spell it out, you simply feel it. The world around her reflects that same attention to detail. The major settings, the mystical creatures, and the way the main characters are handled all show the same level of care and quality. That's what makes the entire experience consistently engaging and satisfying from start to finish. One of the film's strongest aspects is its cast of characters, both new and familiar, who bring emotional depth and pacing to the story. And among them, no one leaves a more powerful impression than Grandma Tala. She remains the emotional anchor of the narrative. In the first movie, she was already the guiding presence, offering wisdom with grace. Here, her return is even more impactful. Even though she's not the central focus, she commands every scene she's in. She's the emotional backbone of the story, the presence that holds everything together when it begins to fall apart. The connection she represents is irreplaceable. Without her, this sequel wouldn't have the same heart. In fact, many of the film's most powerful moments only find meaning because of her presence, both spiritually and narratively. Speaking of new elements, the characters introduced as part of Moana's new crew deserve recognition. It's refreshing to see the sequel take a bold step in expanding its universe by bringing in fresh faces with distinct personalities. Even though the limited runtime, perhaps due to its shift from a series format to a feature film, doesn't allow for deep exploration of their relationships, the group dynamics still come through. These characters bring momentum, texture, and contrast to the story. They don't distract from the core narrative. Instead, they serve as vital pieces that add depth and dimension to the journey. Then we have Maui. Despite his oversized ego, he remains one of Disney's most charismatic and entertaining characters. His comedic timing, exaggerated expressions, and over-the-top reactions are perfectly balanced, delivering humor without tipping into excess. But this time, what really stood out was the subtle way Maui is humanized, literally. Seeing him in his human form, even briefly, adds an unexpected emotional weight. In that moment, something meaningful happens. As Maui reconnects with his origins, grounding himself closer to humanity, Moana begins to ascend, moving further away from the ordinary and closer to something almost mythical. It feels like a symbolic role reversal between the two, handled with restraint but layered with meaning. This shift adds a surprising emotional resonance to their relationship. And we can't overlook the Kakamora. Who would have guessed that those chaotic coconut creatures, once treated as little more than visual gags in the first film, would return with such purpose? This time, they're no longer just disposable enemies. Their backstory, motivations, and behavior are explored in a way that feels natural and earned. When the film reveals that they're not inherently hostile, but simply trying to return to their home, the entire perception of them changes. That shift is one of the film's biggest strengths, its ability to add genuine depth to even the most unlikely characters, without forcing emotion or over-explaining. It just works. It fits the world. What I truly appreciate in a sequel is when it refuses to coast on the success of its predecessor. Moana 2 doesn't recycle ideas or settle for being merely functional. It pushes forward. Everything here revolves around growth, of the world, of the characters, and of the mythology itself. The scope feels broader, the stakes more personal, yet the soul of the story remains intact. One of the most striking aspects of Moana 2 is how it gradually and deliberately builds Moana's transformation into a near-mythical figure. From the very beginning, subtle signs are in place. Her unwavering determination to leave, the quiet concern on her parents' faces, her younger sister's fear. Small moments that only reveal their full significance as the story progresses. When the pivotal moment arrives, it lands with real emotional weight. Moana's complete surrender, her conscious sacrifice, and the appearance of her ancestors to bring her back are handled with powerful restraint. It's a defining scene, deeply moving without being overstated. The song I Am Beyond, featured in Moana 2, perfectly captures that shift. It's a stunning composition that retains its emotional impact across different languages. Annie Gabriel's performance in particular stands out. Her voice aligns seamlessly with Moana's essence, delivering strength and vulnerability in every note. This song feels like a direct continuation of How Far I'll Go, but with a more mature tone. In the original film, Moana was trying to discover who she was, caught between her father's expectations and the ocean's call. Now she knows who she is, but faces a deeper fear, not of failure, but of what she might become. Going beyond isn't just about following instinct anymore. It's about stepping into the unknown, fully aware of the stakes, including the real possibility of not coming back. The film signals this clearly, hinting that Moana is approaching a boundary few ever cross, her own mortality. She accepts a task so vast it demands everything from her, and without even realizing it, she's walking the path toward becoming a demigod. That moment also reinterprets one of the oldest and most popular fan theories, that Moana had already become a demigod during her first journey. Some believe she had died, perhaps saving the baby turtle during the storm or while crossing the ocean, and that the gods brought her back because of her pure heart, explaining her deep bond with the sea and nature. The sequel validates this idea in a new way. Moana wasn't a demigod from the start, but she becomes one. The essence of the theory holds true. She crosses a human limit, gives herself for a greater cause, and is forever changed by it. It's now canon. Moana joins Disney's pantheon of mythical heroes, not just as a leader or wayfinder, but as someone who has transcended fate itself. Her transformation into a demigod is one of the film's most powerful moments. After giving her life to save Motufitu and break Nalo's curse, she is brought back by the spirits of her ancestors, encased in a sphere formed by the ocean. Arranged in the spiral shape of Te Fiti's heart, they channel their energy into her rebirth. The scene is visually breathtaking and emotionally charged, symbolizing her eternal bond with the sea and her people. Upon awakening, Moana receives a tattoo resembling a star map with flowing water, marking both her journey and her new role. Just as Maui was empowered by the gods, Moana rises to demigod status not through brute strength, but through compassion and ancestral connection. She gains abilities that surpass human limits. Her iconic oar, present since the beginning of her story, is transformed into a radiant, divine weapon, reflecting her link to the ocean. Now she can command tides and guide the scattered tribes, stepping fully into her role as protector and unifier. Unlike Maui, who relies on a magical hook, Moana's power seems to come from within, rooted in her lineage and spirit. The film closes on a note of renewal. With Motufitu restored, ocean currents flow again, reconnecting once isolated islands. Moana, now a divine presence, personally leads her people back to Motunui, signaling the start of a new chapter for all oceanic cultures. The ending of Moana 2 carries a much deeper impact than simply restoring Motufitu. Moana steps beyond her role as Motunui's chief and embraces a far greater responsibility, becoming the protector and guide of all oceanic tribes. Her sacrifice, alongside that of her ancestors including Tyveza, becomes the foundation for this expanded mission. The film makes it clear that the unification of the tribes isn't just a symbolic gesture, it's a matter of survival. Nalo's curse and the long-standing divisions among the islands were pushing an entire culture to the brink of collapse. By coming together, the tribes now have a genuine chance to resist even greater threats that may emerge. The final scenes lay the groundwork for what's to come. Moana, now fully recognized as a demigod, is shown leading the allied tribes, signaling that her journey is far from over. Her new role isn't just about leadership, it's about preserving a fragile unity and protecting a legacy that spans generations. The post-credits scene confirms what the story was building toward. New dangers are on the horizon. Nalo, the storm god, has survived, defeated but not destroyed. Humiliated by his loss, he now burns with a thirst for revenge. Moana's rise as a demigod directly challenges his authority, and a second confrontation between them feels inevitable. But the unification of the tribes brings its own complications. Different customs, traditions, and expectations now converge under Moana's guidance. She must balance her elevated status with the need to understand and respect the identities of each people. Her journey ahead will involve not just external battles, but internal ones, managing political, cultural, and spiritual tensions between once isolated communities. Moana is no longer just the chief of Motunui. She's become a figure who represents the entire ocean, a symbol of unity, resilience, and change. And as the story closes, it's clear, her greatest challenges are only beginning. Let's be clear, just because I praised Moana 2 doesn't mean it's without flaws. Was this sequel truly necessary? Honestly, no. Moana's original story had a satisfying and complete conclusion, but continuing a beloved character's journey is often a safer bet than taking a chance on a new original concept, and that's exactly what happened here. After all, the project initially began as a Disney Plus series before being reworked into a feature film. And truthfully, I think the story might have been better received had it stayed in that serialized format. The film consistently carries the pacing and structure of something episodic. That didn't bother me much personally, but for many viewers, the shift from series to film created a sense of unevenness that affected the overall experience. You can still spot remnants of the original series concept throughout the movie, especially in the background details. For instance, the supporting characters often feel underdeveloped, with generic designs and limited presence, almost as if they were lifted from a lower-budget TV episode. It's not enough to derail the film, but the difference is noticeable. As for Matangi, her introduction is compelling, her presence striking, and her song memorable. Her design stands out immediately, and her connection to the central conflict, being imprisoned by the villain, adds narrative depth. But her role in the plot is surprisingly limited. She appears briefly, makes an impression, but doesn't significantly influence the outcome. It feels like a missed opportunity to fully develop a character with so much potential. There's clearly more to explore with Matangi. Her background, her motivations, and her relationship with the gods remain open questions. Her presence adds intrigue to the universe, and she's almost certain to play a larger role in a possible Moana 3. Whether she becomes a key ally or a new threat, her involvement could shift the balance between Moana, Maui, and the Divine Realm. Another point of contention among viewers was the voice acting, more specifically, the use of modern slang in some dialogue. Many felt that these choices clashed with the timeless tone of the story. Personally, I found it added a touch of humor and helped connect with a younger audience. But the criticism is valid. Language that resonates today might feel outdated years from now. It's always a gamble when a script leans too heavily into the present. Lastly, the film clearly leaves the door open for a third installment, possibly centered around the fallout of Moana's battle with Nalo. The story isn't fully wrapped up, and whether that's a strength or a drawback depends on how or if Disney chooses to continue this arc. In short, Moana 2 not only exceeded my expectations, it left me wanting more. It honors everything the first film built and in many ways expands on it. The world Disney is creating here holds immense potential, with several unexplored paths still ahead. This isn't just a good sequel, it's proof that a story can evolve without losing its core. Moana 2 delivers an experience that reinforces why we love animated storytelling in the first place. Now I want to hear from you. Does Moana 2 rank among your favorite Disney sequels? Or do you have another top pick? Let's talk. These stories deserve to be shared with people who feel them as deeply as we do. And if you haven't seen it yet, give it a shot. It's absolutely worth it.